Hi everyone, welcome to this house. Today we are exploring the defining characteristics of Victorian architecture. Make sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an exciting episode. Our story begins in Britain during the reign of Queen Victoria. Her Majesty's 63-year rule left its mark on every aspect of British life, including the design and construction of homes. The period spanning from 1837 to 1901 was a time of great social change, rapid industrialization and economic growth, which led to an explosion in urban populations. Cities were expanding at unprecedented rates, which demanded new housing solutions for the burgeoning middle class. This resulted in entire neighborhoods being designed and constructed to accommodate thousands of new residents all at once. The Victorian era was also a time when Romanticism and nationalism were at their peak. There was a renewed interest in the past, and people began looking to history for inspiration. This is evident in the revivalist styles that were popular during this time, such as Italianate, which drew inspiration from the architecture of 15th century Italy. These various styles often borrowed heavily from previous eras, but they did so with a modern twist. They combined historical elements with new technologies and materials to create a unique and eclectic style that was distinctly Victorian. One of the key features of Victorian architecture is its ornamentation. Unlike the more restrained Greek Revival style that preceded it, Victorian architecture was highly decorative. This was partly due to the influence of the arts and crafts movement, which emphasized the importance of handmade craftsmanship. But it was also a reflection of the changing role of the architect. In the early 19th century, architects were often seen as the designers of entire buildings, responsible for both the structure's form and function. By the end of the century, however, architects were increasingly being hired to design interiors, allowing them to focus more on aesthetics. During this time, there was a push towards creating individualistic homes that reflected the personality and status of their owners. Architects achieved this through the liberal use of decorative elements such as stained glass windows, intricate wood carvings, and ceramic or stone relief work. Each detail was carefully considered to contribute to the overall appearance of the building. Another defining feature of Victorian architecture is its variety. This was a time when experimentation was encouraged and architects were not afraid to try new things. As a result, there was a wide range of architectural styles during this period, each with its own unique characteristics. For example, Italianate architecture was characterized by its low-pitched roofs, wide eaves, and the use of rusticated stonework. Meanwhile, Gothic Revival architecture was highly ornamented and featured pointed arches and elaborate tracery. Other popular styles included Queen Anne, which was known for its asymmetrical facades and use of natural materials, and Eastlit, which was particularly notable for its delicate and intricate metalwork. In the early days of the Victorian era, brick and stone were the most common building materials. However, as the century progressed, new materials such as terracotta, cast iron, and steel became more widely available and were used to create innovative and eye-catching designs. The interior of Victorian homes was just as elaborate as their exteriors. This was a time when rooms were designed to be more than just functional spaces. They were meant to be works of art in themselves. For example, the parlor was often the most important room in the house, and it was designed to impress guests with its rich wood paneling, intricate plasterwork, and carefully arranged furniture. The dining room was another important space, and it was often decorated with hand-painted murals or other eye-catching features. And the bedrooms, while more modest, still reflected the personality of their occupants through the choice of wallpaper, textiles, and furniture. Today, many people still dream of owning a Victorian home. These houses offer a unique blend of history, charm, and character that is hard to find in newer homes. However, they do require a lot of maintenance, and it is not uncommon for someone who buys a Victorian to be surprised by the extent of the work that is needed. Many of these homes have been lovingly restored by their owners, who appreciate the beauty and craftsmanship of these bygone eras. Others have been converted into apartments or used for commercial purposes, but not all Victorians are created equal. Some styles are more popular than others, and some features are more desirable than others. For example, bay windows are always a crowd pleaser, and they can add a lot of value to a home. Stained glass windows, on the other hand, are more of a mixed bag. They can be beautiful and add a lot of character to a home, but they can also be expensive to repair if they are damaged. When it comes to materials, brick and stone are always safe bets. They are durable, easy to maintain, and they have a timeless appeal. Wood is another popular material, but it requires more upkeep. If you live in an area with a lot of rain or snow, you will need to repaint or refinish your wooden siding more frequently. And then there are the less traditional materials like stucco and terracotta. These can be tricky because they are more difficult to repair if they get damaged. Stucco, in particular, is notorious for being high maintenance, and it can really bring down the value of a home if it is not properly cared for. So, what makes a Victorian home valuable? It is really a combination of factors that come together to create a unique and desirable property. Of course, the condition of the home is important. A well-maintained Victorian is going to be more valuable than one that has been neglected. But it is also important to consider the location, the size, and the layout of the home. A Victorian home located in a desirable neighborhood is going to be more valuable than one that is in a less desirable area. And a larger home with a more flexible floor plan is going to be more valuable than a smaller home with a more rigid floor plan. Owning a Victorian home is a labor of love. These homes require a lot of care and attention, but the rewards are great. If you are willing to put in the work, you will be rewarded with a beautiful and unique home that is full of character and charm. In conclusion, Victorian architecture was a product of its time, a time of great social change, rapid industrialization, and economic growth. This style reflects the values and aesthetics of the Victorian era and continues to captivate people today with its ornate details, variety of styles, and functional spaces. Although these homes may require a lot of maintenance, they also offer a unique blend of history, charm, and character that is hard to find in newer homes. If you would like to learn more about Victorian architecture or any of the topics covered in this video, I encourage you to visit the website. Thanks for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. Please hit that thumbs up button if you did. What are your thoughts on Victorian architecture? Let me know in the comments section below. And while you're there, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an exciting episode. I would also like to take a moment to say a special thank you to our supporters whose names you can see on screen right now. I'll see you next time.